Hey, it's JC1424 once again with another album review, and today we're going to be talking about the new album from Nothing More called Spirits that was released on October 14th, 2022. I first got into this band back in 2015 when I was in high school, and they played the song Ginny on the radio a lot, and I've been listening to them ever since. I think their last album must have been 5 years ago, because the song Go to War was one of my favorites of 2017, and I don't remember anything else released since then. But let's get into this one. Track 1 is Turn It Up Like, Stand in the Fire. It's got a badass synthetic entrance, and the way those opening vocals just come through is so fiery. And the lead single starts off the album by tearing into all the unhealthy exposure that we get from social media and headlines. There are some fantastic melodies and punchy riffs that carry the chorus. And as if that wasn't enough, there is a cool solo, and the percussion in the bridge is just eloquent. The second song on this album is called Tired of Winning, and it used to be my favorite song of the year. And then now it winds up being something else on this album, which is just how damn good this album is. It has such a fine groove, though, a nice bounce in the verses, and then punchy in a way that gets syncopated with the slithery-like melodies. Ben Anderson goes unhinged on the drums, and Daniel Oliver just slaps the fuck out of the bass. It paints a picture of God making our world as we see it merely out of boredom. So is he not entertained? Track 3 is Ships in the Night, and it's not exactly a song, but it does have some lyrics. It ends the opening chapter to this album very well. Mark Villolunga is on the guitar, and he always finds a way to fit in beautiful underlying sounds. This interlude implies that we are all so very lost at many times in our lives, just looking for some grand purpose. It inherently gives closure to the ideas in tracks 1 and 2.
In that silence, you suddenly begin to see the world as it is. You don't see.
Track 4, You Don't Know What Love Means, is a complete change in direction at this point on the album, but not in a bad way by any means. It is a good message for people who are just too attached and need to work on themselves. This obviously was a single because it has that compassionate hook and is simply relatable. It even has that dynamic of urgency or aggression.
Let's be honest, you don't know what love means, and it's killing me.
The 5th track is Don't Look Back. Why am I spitting bars right now? This song is fine. It truly is as dynamic as you can get, but not in a way that I'm intrigued by. Everything is distorted and drowned out with some pluckety strings until Mark comes in and does some wretched things with that guitar, like he always does. Meanwhile, Johnny Hawkins beckons to the listener to just have the strength to walk away, establishing some continuity with the previous song. On track 6, The Other F Word, the instrumental comes through like an artsy white noise. It's kind of terrifying, all beneath a sassy melody with angry outbursts, and then it goes into a modern style of breakdown, and that's a lot of fun. But I do start to get bored with their sound right around here on the album.
Call it like you see it. Call it like you see it. Call it like you see it.
Track 7, Face It, is I think the 6th song on this album, I guess. I always remember this as the one with the fabulous god-tier ending, a melodic polyrhythm to be more specific. But at this point, things have become kind of one note for me, at least. The verses are quite over the top, I should mention that. And I begin to feel that the mentality is to just be aggressive. And then they're just like, do it harder. Harder, daddy. I get the song is confrontational and about dealing with your own emotions head on, though.
Silencing the angels in the better part of you. Cutting all the shadow from the bitter
Track 8 is Best Times, and this is a great direction for the album to go in and keep me invested. It's happy and energetic. They sound so much like the Maine when they make a song like this, though. I feel like I only mentioned that because I heard an album from them like 4 years ago, but this is driven by simple power chords and even has a little key change at the end. It also has a great underlying message about the precious memories that we make without realizing it. I should probably add that this song is made better by the album. Whenever you start to get slightly disinterested and then something completely different like this comes along, it just makes it so much better. Otherwise, it's kind of like a dime a dozen pop punk song.
My head's got my heart boxed out, and the world won't let it be. I felt a rush over me.
The 9th track is Déjà Vu. Oh my god, this is the 3rd song called Déjà Vu that I've seen released in the past 2 years. Why? I don't freaking know. I don't really have many positive things to say about this song. It's my least favorite on the album. But for my least favorite song, it is okay. It's all right. And that's a great thing to be saying about a song after like an entire album experience. It is some kind of slow elitist version of like How You Remind Me by Nickelback. But like the hook is annoying. I do not like the hook. Everything sounds just washed out on purpose. I don't feel that was necessary for the album's dynamic. I don't feel like it actually helped anything here. For a moment, things start to come crashing together, but then it all dissipates. And I guess since we're talking about this Déjà Vu song, I should mention that Déjà Vu by Avril Lavigne was one of my favorite songs of the year. Unfortunately, nothing more could not out Déjà Vu Avril Lavigne.
When all our fears come to life, who hurt you? 'Cause I love you.
Dream With Me is track 10, and at first, that opening riff leads you to believe that we are just going right back into the same old thing, but there is so much relief whenever it does this sick, upbeat counter riff thingy, and it spends a lot of time just pleading and dragging its way through the chorus until finally it changes to a less nihilistic key as Johnny just begs this other character to simply have hope. And then we go into track 11, Neverland, which adds nor takes anything away from the album. It's definitely just an intermission. And it spends a good 2 minutes being hypnotic with piano and the melody from the previous song. Track 12 is Valhalla, Too Young to See. Why are there hardly any notes on this song? I feel like I packed so much into such few words in what I typed up right here. Well, like I was saying, my favorite song of the year used to be Tired of Winning, and then now it kind of winds up being this. I had to change it, because I was feeling it. I was not feeling it with the other song as much as I was this one. But man, the composition here is brilliant in every aspect. There's a naive acoustic start, this moody beat drop, and then it just goes into a badass chorus. It is a really catchy one at that. And then it's all followed by a verse full of mystical sounds that just fit right in. Not to mention that the verse is its own fucking thing. At no other point do we hear the verse, and this verse is something else. And the bridge is like the best sounding metal that I have heard since Poppy, which was like 2 years ago. I mean, this album as a whole is better than this song, but I think this song in particular is on par with that album. Spirits is track 13, and the title track also. It's the 11th song on the album, obviously, because we just had an intermission a while ago, and it kind of is an enchanting medley of itself, and altogether it is a fine closure to the album. It does feel really spiritual, in a way. The occasional chorus that just rises above everything else in volume, meanwhile the tempo is just being cut down like a quarter, or 25% speed, which is a great way to just drop the hammer to boost the volume while keeping that tempo, but just cutting it down so much that you really clarify everything that you're putting out there. Because otherwise, it's a fast-paced song with a wacky groove about looking for a solution. And it has this big revelation to close with, that spirits will lead you on blindly. But anyhow, my final score for the new album by Nothing More called Spirits, that was released on October 14th, 2022, is a 91%, which is, on my scale, a B+, borderline A territory. For me, it's just that it is so great of a start to the album, and then an even better ending. But there's just some stuff in the middle that I get a little bit bored with because they are trying to be dynamic, but I don't vibe with it perfectly. I'm not satisfied with what they tried to do to make it dynamic in the middle. But overall, I definitely want to have this album on CD. It's one of my favorite albums of the year. I do recommend it to anyone who's into rock or metal, and let me know what your favorite songs on here are. If you've already heard it, do tell me in the comment section below. Maybe you like something that I didn't like as much. Overall, there's like one song I find okay, and then everything else was at least good. Then there's some great stuff, and some absolutely perfect songs like Valhalla, Too Young to See, Spirits, Dream With Me, Tired of Winning, and Turn It Up Like Stand in the Fire. I mean, it was like 5-6 songs I just listed off. But yeah, see you next time. That's that, and album review over.